Hey y'all, I'm here to talk to you about putting fractions and decimals on a number line. It's part of 4.nf.6. I just want to remind you of the place value chart, and that is whole numbers are to the left of a decimal point. So there's our decimal point, and the first position is the tenths place, and the second one is the hundredths place. It's very important that you remember that when doing this. So as you can see, I've already got a number line that is labeled with my benchmark fractions, which are 0, 1/2, and 1 whole. And then I also have labeled it already with tenths. So I've labeled in, you know that 5 tenths is the same thing as 1/2, and 10 tenths are also equivalent to 1 whole. I'm going to go ahead now and put tenths into the number line. So I'm just going to add in, and you already know that 1/10 is the same thing as that in decimal form. 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths, 6 tenths, 7 tenths, 8 tenths, 9 tenths, and then this is going to be equal to a whole, which means my 1 needs to go in the whole value, the whole number place value, decimal 0. Okay, so now before I show you something else, I want to make sure you understand that when you have a decimal, as long as the number is in the correct place value, so like this is 1/10 because the 1 is in the tenths place. It does not matter where I put any other zeros, because remember, zeros are equivalent to nothing. They equal nothing. 0 is 0. So as long as your 1 or whatever number you're working with stays in the tenths place, it doesn't matter how many zeros are added before or after your number or the decimal. Just keep the 1 in the tenths place and it is still the same value. Okay? So if I could change that to 2's, and it would all be 2/10. All right, so now when we're thinking about that, the way I like to consider decimals, especially in the tenths place, is with dimes. So 1/10 is actually the same thing as 1 dime. That's how you would write 10 cents. Okay, so that would be the same thing as this. So if you think about it in terms of money, it makes it a lot easier, especially when you start comparing fractions. Okay, so I'm just putting this on here to show you money, because the way to write like 10 cents would be like, you would put a dollar sign, and maybe it was, let's say it was just 10 cents, you would see it on a sign like that, or you might say like $1.10 would look like that. Okay, so that's where we are looking at fractions here. So if I was to say to you, where would 25 cents be? You would know that 25 cents would fall between the 20 and the 30. So it would be halfway in between. Okay, so this is tenths place. The hundredths place values are going to fall in between these. So all this space up here would represent things like, like right here maybe would be 0.002, which would be 2 pennies. Okay, so hundredths is going to be representing pennies, whereas tenths are more like representing dimes. So if somebody was to ask you, put 8 hundredths on a number line, you would label it like this, and then the eights would be before 1/10, because 8 pennies is less than 1/10, which is equal to a dime. If someone said, let's put 22 cents on a number line, that would come right after the 2/10, because that would be 20 plus the 2 pennies. So it would be in between 20 cents and 30 cents, but closer to 20. Okay, so the hundredths places are going to be in between. Okay, let's do a couple more examples. So try thinking about, where would you find 45 cents? Okay, so 45 cents would be somewhere around here, because decimal 45 hundredths would be between 40 cents and 50 cents. Okay, so what if we asked to put 73 cents or 73 1/100ths on this number line? It would fall right after 7/10, like that, because it's between 70 cents and 80 cents. Okay, what if they asked you to put 91 cent on, or 90 1/100ths on a number line? You know it would fall right directly after 9/10, because that would be worth 90 cents, and 91 cents is just one more. Okay, so again, tenths are easy because you just relate them to tenths in a fraction form. You can put tenths in on decimals, and then hundredths, decimals with hundredths in it, are going to go in between all these tenths. So think about the tenths as dimes and the hundredths as pennies, so that would fall in between. Okay.